All right, let's talk about a communication skill that is just absolutely beautiful when you see it in action, but it has, let's be honest, a kind of clunky name. We're talking about a quiet superpower, one that completely transforms how you handle pressure, how you can hold a room, and maybe most importantly, how you build trust. You know this scene, right? We have all been there. You're in the groove, you're making your point, and then boom, life happens. That perfectly controlled little environment you had in your head just evaporates. The flow is totally broken, attention scatters everywhere, and every single eye in the room turns to you. And right there, that's the moment of truth. What do? Do you apologize and kind of rewind, trying to pretend the last 30 seconds just didn't happen? Or do you just power through and ignore it? Or is there a better way? A way to not just survive the interruption, but to actually use it? Well, that better way is called interruptibility. And look, it's not about being easily interrupted. It's about having the poise and the skill to gracefully handle things when they change. This isn't a weakness, not at all. It is a master level communication tool. It's a superpower. So here's the most important part to get. Interruptibility is all about protecting the meaning of what you're saying, even when the form of how you're saying it has to change on the fly. It's about knowing your core idea so well that you can rethread it for anyone, anytime, under any condition. That right there is grace under pressure. Now we need to draw a really clear line in the sand here. Interruptibility is not, and I mean not, just a fancy word for being distractible. It's not about chasing every little shiny object that pops up. As you can see, interruptibility is disciplined steering. It protects your message. It builds trust. Distractibility, that's just a bad habit that creates confusion and gives up the floor to all the noise. And the best part, you can practice it. It really breaks down into this simple 3-beat move. First, protect the thread. Give a super quick 1-sentence recap of where you were. Second, acknowledge. Just name the change, the latecomer, the tech glitch, so everyone knows you see it too. They feel included. And third, pivot. Just adjust one little thing. Maybe you change the order or swap out an example. It's not about big drama. It's about smart, intelligent steering. So let's see how this actually plays out. Theory is great and all, but seeing the skill in action, that's where the lesson really, really sticks. Okay, so take May. She's in the middle of a practice talk, and a few new people wander in. Instead of getting all flustered or starting over, she does the move. She offers a quick recap that protects the thread. Then she swaps a really specific example for a more common one. Just like that, she includes the newcomers without losing her original audience. I mean, it's brilliant. Or how about Marco? Total tech failure. The projector dies, and he's losing the room fast. He could just, shout his data into the void. But instead, he pivots. He drops this powerful, really human-scale image. Imagine 20 crowded buses. And bam, all of a sudden that abstract number becomes real, and every single head in that room turns right back to him. Okay, now this is how you handle a direct challenge. Sophia gets a question that could have totally derailed her, but she doesn't get defensive. She validates, fair read would be, and then she corrects succinctly and narrows the scope right back to her original point. See what happened there? The interruption actually made her argument even stronger. And of course, this applies online too. Amir's live captions create this ridiculous typo. Instead of ignoring it or getting annoyed, he uses a simple record fix. He acknowledges it with a smile, calmly corrects the record, and just moves on. He treats the pothole like a pothole, not a cliff, and the room trusts him even more for it. All right, so you've seen it in action. How do you start building this skill for yourself? Well, it's all about stocking your toolbox with a few really reliable moves you can just grab when you're under pressure. Here is your very own starter kit. First, have a red thread. That's your one core sentence that can survive anything. It's your anchor. Second, a record fix for handling mishearings without any drama. This protects your clarity and shows respect. Third, a bridge sentence. Something like, where this lands is to get right back on track. It signals that you're still in control. And finally, practice the order swap. If you're running out of time, give the payoff first. These are the tools that will keep your message alive no matter what. So why does all this even matter? I mean, really, mastering interruptibility isn't just about giving a slightly smoother presentation. The real benefit here goes much, much deeper than that. It's about building credibility with the one person whose opinion matters most, you. When you know deep down in your bones that you can recover from a mistake or a disruption, you start taking smarter risks. You actually trust yourself to handle the unexpected. And you don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need 20 different moves. You just need one reliable tool in your back pocket. That's enough to start building the self-trust you need to raise your hand, to volunteer, to step up into those roles where your voice can actually make a difference. And just think about that for a second. Audiences don't reward perfection. They reward composure. They reward the speaker who holds it together and protects the meaning of the message, especially when things get messy. They're applauding your leadership through all that noise. So let me just leave you with this question. In a world that is constantly interrupting us, a world that's just full of digital and physical noise, what if the way you speak could become an act of generosity? What if your words could be the very thing that helps everyone else make sense of the chaos? Because being clear, being grounded, and being steady, that isn't just about getting your point across. It's about being strong enough to carry other people through the moment with you. And that is the real power of interruptibility.